I'm sure many of you already know what happened in the football world. Not American football though, I should say, but football as in soccer. I just don't want to catch any strays for calling it soccer, so I'll call it football instead. But either ways, how crazy were FIFA and Infantino to announce the FIFA for Enterprise or the FFE and still try to spin it as a good thing? I mean, most football fans, if not all of them, and the federations who did respond to the proposal were against this proposed company from the start. Even Sepp Blatter of all people, FIFA's former president, opposed it. However, I don't want to give him too much credit as many are trying to give him for, like standing up to FIFA. Because we can't forget that he was involved in the 2015 corruption scandal, so I think this was just him trying to win the public bat. But regardless, I don't think there was a single person out there in the world who actually backed this idea, outside of Infantino's circle and rich investors, of course. But moving on, I'm aware that the company is not happening anymore, thankfully, it got scrapped. But I still want to talk about this topic because this proposed company was simply not a good thing at all. And FIFA must have known it would be controversial, which is why I think they announced it after the World Cup ended, to not draw attention away from it. And of course they do this after the US co-hosted it. Because professional sports in the US have become so extremely commercialized with constant advertising, long broadcast breaks, and whatnot. So FIFA probably saw this and were like, let's just copy that. Let's add mandatory hydration breaks in between matches and sell stakes to investors for future tournaments, including future World Cups through the FFE. Okay, let's stop for a moment here and imagine a world where the FFE did happen and FIFA did sell stakes at the World Cup to investors. What would be stopping investors from pressuring FIFA to have less playtime in favor of more ad breaks, more hydration breaks, etc.? Like, all of that would make games unwatchable. Or what about making FIFA hold the World Cup more often rather than every 4 years and expanding the tournament to allow for more teams, thus increasing the number of matches? I mean, yes, on one hand, it would allow countries that have never qualified to get the chance to play in the biggest tournament in history, and we would get to see more World Cup runs like the one Cabo Verde had during this one. I wish they would have made it further, to be honest. But the thing is, investors are generally more focused on maximizing returns, so they would push to increase the number of teams for more revenue. And the risk that this brings to the tournament is that eventually the tournament would include too many games, too many countries, which would completely dilute what makes watching the World Cup feel special and exciting. Not to mention that the players would also get tired much more quickly and face higher risks of injury due to the increased number of matches. I just don't understand why FIFA and Infantino would want to ruin the one thing or one of the few things that truly unite the world. I mean, the clearest and most recent example of this that I can think of is the fact that so many people around the world wanted Argentina to lose during this World Cup. Now, I don't want to rub salt in the wound if you're an Argentina fan, right? I'm just giving an example. As I mentioned in the beginning, thankfully this idea was scrapped because CONCACAF, AFC, and UEFA all voted to reject the proposal. But UEFA took it a step further by threatening to boycott all future FIFA games. Which, by the way, imagine how crazy it would have been if this boycott lasted into the next World Cup. Like, we're talking about Europe here, the literal powerhouse of football with 13 wins in total, not participating. That would simply ruin the next World Cup and many more. As a matter of fact, they wouldn't even feel like real World Cups with Europe missing. But hey, at least we're not going to see this reality play out anytime soon, and I hope never.